So this is page 10 and a continuation of the lesson from slope. We're going to focus on when there's a missing coordinate. If you notice, you're given the slope this time, but you're missing one of the coordinate parts. Over here, you're missing x. Over here, in the second problem, you're missing x. The third problem, you're missing a y, right? So either an x or a y could be missing. But your goal here is to use the slope formula to help you. So step one is label your x's and y's, right? Your x1, your y1, your x2 and y2, right here. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. Second step is to write down the formula. If you feel like you've memorized the formula, you don't have to write it down, but it may help you when you're substituting the information to just visually see it. Because step 3 is going to be substitute. So we're going to substitute all of the information that we have, and maybe instead of formula here, we write slope formulas. We know which formula we're talking about. So now step 3, substitute, right? So I'm going to do equals and a line. So that might help you to set it up. Oh, and then your subtraction sign so you don't lose it. One big thing here is because you have your slope, you can actually substitute in your m. Now, usually m, your slope is rise over run. Well, think about how we can make an integer so that it's a fraction. You put it over 1. So we have 2 over 1 as our slope. Then I'm going to substitute my y2 and my y1. 6 minus negative 2. I'm also going to substitute my x2. Well, that one is just x. So you put x, right? There's no number. And then I have my x1, which is negative 3. I'm going to simplify these so they look a little bit cleaner when I'm doing the calculations. You do not have to simplify it like this, but you can. This becomes 6 plus 2. And the denominator becomes x plus 3. So now if I simplify it further, 6 plus 2 is 8, and I get over x plus 3. You can't simplify the x plus 3 anymore. So once you substitute, step 4, even like inside of substituting, is to simplify. And then step 5. Your step 5 is going to be cross product and calculate. So I'm going to bring this over here just because I'm running out of space. Cross product is you multiply diagonally. So here we have an 8 times 1 equals. And then on the other side, this is where you have to be careful because you're going to need to add parentheses around that x plus 3. So you actually get 2 times x plus 3. Now it's an equation that I can continue to calculate and solve. So we get 8 equals, let's distribute our 2 to everything inside the parentheses. We get 2x plus 6. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. So I get a 2 equals 2x. And the final step, I'm going to divide by 2. And so we get x equals 1. This is the missing coordinate that we were looking for before. So x is equal to 1. That is your final answer. Let's go ahead and try another one. We're going to skip right below it to number 3. First step, label my x1, y1, x2, y2. Write my formula. Set up so I can substitute. Now, pay attention to this because if you notice, our slope has a negative sign. I'm going to give the negative sign to the top. This way, when I go and do my cross product, I only use my negative sign once, and you want to make sure of that. So my y2 is y, my y1 is negative 4. My x2 is negative 5. My x1 is negative 3. I can simplify this. I can rewrite the calculation. But the numerator ends up being a y plus 4. I'm actually going to put this in parentheses, maybe get in the habit of seeing an expression in the fraction and putting parentheses so you don't make a mistake. Denominator, I can write negative 5 plus 3, or I can do the calculation and know that negative 5 plus 3 is going to give me a negative 2. So this way, my next step, I can do cross product here in pink. And so let's bring this here. We get 2 times y plus 4 equals the other side of the cross product, which is negative 9 times negative 2. You can write negative 9 times negative 2, or you can say, well, negative 9 times negative 2 is a positive 18, and write that there. It is up to you on how many steps you want to show. We're going to distribute and get 2y plus 8 equals 18. I can subtract 8 on both sides, so I get 2y equals 10, and then I'm going to divide by 2. So the missing coordinate, our y that we were looking for, is equal to 5. It's the same steps over and over and over again. It looks like a lot of work, but remember, it's still the same steps. Label, use the formula, substitute, simplify, cross product. Simplify we've been working on since the beginning of the year. Cross product and calculating and our equations we've also been working on since Unit 1. So go ahead and practice with this page.